Today, presenters, as you may already know, are myself, Gelareh Holden, Dr. Armin Mehdipur, a respected planner, and Hamed Tabakkoli, a landscape architect and researcher. All right, let's dive into the first topic: 8 strategies for building financial sustainability in future cemeteries. As Mesospace, we believe cemeteries can be far more than places of loops. They can become catalysts for sustainability, design learning, and community well-being. Imagine a future when remembrance blends naturally with daily life, where gardens, walking paths, cafes, and learning spaces bring activity to places once still. These aren't just resting grounds. They are living landscapes that grow with their communities. Here is the challenge we all facing. Land is scarce. Maintenance costs keep rising. The community expectations are changing and shifting fast. Therefore, naturally, the traditional model, relying mainly on burial plot sale, can no longer sustain long-term care. So, how do we rethink cemeteries to be financially stable, socially inclusive, and environmentally responsible? Today, we will explore creative, practical ways to turn these challenges into opportunities for renewal. Sorry, I think I jumped one slide ahead. Okay, here we are. Before we go to the specific methods, I would like to share a real-life example from Melbourne. Altona Memorial Park was once an underused space, but it's now an active, vibrant destination. Why? The cemetery introduced an amphitheater that hosts community events, reflection gatherings, and cultural activity, all while generating revenue. It is a clear example of how thoughtful design can balance remembrance, community life, and financial sustainability. Exactly what we will be exploring next. Our solution to the question and the challenges that I just mentioned is to reimagine cemeteries as active urban spaces, places that honor the past while serving the living. There is no one-size-fits-all model, of course. Every site, culture, and community will need its own approach. What we are sharing today is a broad set of ideas. Let's say a toolkit of possibilities, of course, responsibilities, showing how cemeteries around the world are adapting and thriving. Let's look at what we can bring together to actually redesign and reimagine cemeteries and bring them to the life. Let's start with one of my favorite ideas: reimagining cemeteries as community parks. Bonorong Memorial Park in Victoria is a great example. Families work together, kids play, parents chat over coffee, all within beautifully maintained memorial gardens. When people feel welcome, they form an emotional connection. They form bond that lasts. And financially, amenities like cafe, picnic areas, small community events create steady income while strengthening social ties. It's about designing places people want to return to, not just visit once. Another inspiring approach is turning cemeteries into multi-purpose spaces that grow both connection and revenue. Take the cottage in the graveyard project at Camberdown Cemetery in New South Wales. What used to be a caretaker yard is now a thriving community garden, with locals growing vegetables, tending bees, and harvesting honey. It's a beautiful example of how unused land can literally grow meaning, supporting ecology, education, and friendship while preserving the calm dignity of the cemetery. Another example. Let us look at cemeteries as heritage hubs. Historic sites like Highgate Cemetery in London show how storytelling, tours, and art programs can attract cultural tourism. Imagine every headstone becoming part of a living museum, a space where history, architecture, and memory intertwine. Visitors pay for guided walks, exhibitions, and events. And that income, of course, supports preservation and care. This approach especially works well for older cemeteries where heritage and community interest go hand in hand. Think of places like Springwell Botanical Cemetery in Victoria, lush, biodiverse, and peaceful. Here, the gardens themselves are the attraction, supporting both environmental health and financial resilience. With thoughtful planning, a cemetery can become a botanical reference site or even a local tourism destination, offering guided walks, plant sales, or educational programs. By letting nature take the lead, these sites become living landscape of remembrance and renewal. Now for something even a little bit different, very attractive, cemeteries as outdoor event spaces. A very good example, the Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles does this beautifully. People gather on the lawns after sunset to watch films under the stars, complete with picnics, music, and themed experiences. Events like this bring an income through ticketing, partnerships, and vendors, while of course drawing a new audience to heritage sites. Done respectfully, which is very important, the cultural aspects and the community agreement, everything all together. They celebrate life and memory, keeping cemeteries relevant, loved, and financially sustainable. Let's also view cemeteries through the lens of well-being. Assistance Cemetery in Denmark is a wonderful example, where people jog, cycle, meditate, or just simply enjoy a quiet walk. These spaces encourage everyday connection with nature and memory and community. Wellness trails, bike routes, and meditation areas promote health, attract visitors, and can even generate income through local partnership. When cemeteries become part of daily life, they transform from silent places into shared landscape that heal and inspire, and they're welcoming. What about cemeteries as wildlife habitats? Mount Auburn Cemetery in Cambridge, USA, shows how nature and remembrance can coexist beautifully. It attracts bird watchers, garden clubs, visitors drawn by its biodiversity. Native planting and bird corridors not only enhance ecology, but also create new source of income through tours, memberships, and educational programs. When biodiversity thrives, so does the bond between people and places. And the cemetery becomes a living ecosystem of memory and renewal. And finally, let's shift into digital space. Literally, digital memorials are transforming how we honor and remember loved ones. Imagine scanning a QR code on a headstone and instantly seeing photos, videos, and stories that present and shows that person's life. Platforms like Have an Address in Australia already offers these services, creating new emotional connections and even subscription-based revenue for the cemetery operators. This model is ideal if your site, of course, has the infrastructure or appetite to invest in growing technology. It's where memory meets innovation and extending the legacies far beyond the physical grave. As we wrap up, we have seen my part, of course, wrap up only my part. We have seen how cemeteries can evolve into vibrant community spaces, parks, gardens, heritage hubs, even well-being centers. By diversifying use of cemeteries, we reduce reliance on burial plots, create new income streams, and build lasting community and also financial value. Cemeteries can truly serve both living and the departed. Now, to take us even deeper, I would like to hand over to Dr. Armin Mehtipur, who'll guide us through the next essential piece of the puzzle, which is life cycle costing in cemetery design. Thank you, Dr. Armin.